How's it going, you guys? Today we're going to be demoing Sollega's new design tool. This is something that we're using internally right now, and we're excited to start getting it out to the public soon. So hopefully this walkthrough will help you with your projects, and we'll get started. So here we've got a demo project loaded up. This is where we start our project details. We've got our project name, address, city, state, zip code. Is this project under contract? Yes, no. Estimated project start date. Go ahead and put that in. We're going to hit save and continue. Alright, then we're going to move down here to the building and structural specifications. So here you're going to input your deck height. This is really important. Helps us calculate wind and everything. Engineering status, you can add I have structural data. I have a structural report. I don't have any structural data. You can input stuff here. We're going to say I have structural data. For the sake of this example, we're going to skip the max PSF and the max dead load. Make sure you put that in. You can also add additional comments if you'd like. Here we're going to go ahead and put our site details. So we've got our exposure category, B, C, or D. We've got our occupancy risk category, all the way up 1 through 4, as well as our site class. D is default, but you can go through here. If you have different site classes, this is where you input it. Our wind speed, notice here you can select a wind speed that is close to what you're dealing with in your site. We can also automatically calculate, which will be done based on the location that you give us. Or here we're going to go with 125. I'm going to save and continue. Now we're down into our module section. So here we're going to input our module manufacturer. We're going to do test for this, but input whatever module you're working with, as well as the wattage, the length, the width, the thickness, the height, the weight, as well as which FR product you're going with here. We're going with the 510 6 degree. For this one, you can also upload a module spec sheet if that's something you have on hand. Could save you some time. Okay, now we're here to the roof specifications. So this is where you're going to put your fire code setback. Here we have it at 5, or parapet average height. The age of your roof and the warranty. We want to make sure we're not doing any damage to the roof, as well as the manufacturer, the material, the slope, the membrane attachment type, and the thickness. So you can see here. We want to get all this information in so that we're not doing any damage to the roof. We've got our insulation type. Make sure you have that accurate. And last but not least, we're here in our additional details. So we're going to upload layout. You can upload an AutoCAD. You can even upload a roof photo or any other additional files you may have. Any questions you have at the end of this process, you can go ahead and put here. This will all go through our team, and anything that you can add additionally here is always going to be helpful. And we're going to hit finish. So now as we hit finish, what this is going to do is load up a top-down view of the property that we've inputted. So you can see here, this is the building that we are working with today. So this one's a nice simple square. We're going to be doing this square here, excluding the little top deck there. I'm going to go ahead and turn on distances just to show that feature off. And so we're going to select our design tool. We're going to start outlining the roof that we're working with. So keep it nice and easy. You can zoom in and get really accurate with this. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to freehand it because it's a nice big square. So you can see here, this is the setback that we input on those questions earlier. We're going to hit draw. You can also change this on the fly if you need to. We're going to go ahead and click next now. Now to select the azimuth, this is our southmost facing side. We know for this example, this is our southmost facing side. So I'm going to go ahead and see, you can see there how it highlights in yellow. That's what we're going to select. And it'll even show us here on the little thing, the compass. So now what you can notice here are that these distances are highlighted in red. So what that means is we're going to have to input some fire access pathways because of the long distances. We just click there, it does it automatically. So you can see they can go in either direction. You can also move them around, set them exactly where you'd like them, as long as they're within the legal parameters, and it'll let you know if they aren't. For the sake of this example, we're going to set it right where it was. Going to go ahead and hit next now. So after you've got those fire access pathways, this is where it gets to the fun part. This is going to be adding our arrays. So what we're going to do here, we're going to add, you could do either auto fit or custom arrays. We're going to do auto fit because it's a little simpler, but you can, if you have a large roof like this and you want to do a smaller portion of it with an array, go ahead and hit custom and it'll let you outline exactly where you want to put it. For the sake of this example, here's our auto fit arrays. We automatically creates 4 of them within the parameters created by those fire access pathways. Okay, and while we're here, I want to jump in and show a couple of these tools off. One thing we're working on right now is the ruler tool. It just enables you to go in and say, hey, right click and drag, I want to measure exactly how long this edge is going to be, and there you go. It gives you that displayed right there. Always handy to have. As far as wind goes, we have this handy little wind zone tool right here. So you can see it breaks down all the different zones, where the wind's coming from. You can toggle them on and off. I think there are more to come with these features here soon, but this is just an example of what you'll be able to do with the tool. And then I also wanted to mention that if there's any issues here, right, anything you want to add, you can always hit the back button, go right back to your project details. You can go back at any time, go through and edit it, and then come right back to where you were at. So if we zoom in to something like array 1, you can see here all the modules are lined up, and you can go ahead and move them around 1 foot west. I think that helps us get one more row in there, one more column I should say. And you can see here that we've got an obstruction up here in the top right corner. So I'm going to go ahead and do is just really quickly and easily select all these modules. Now you can also select multiple at a time, just like that, and there you go. We've got a nice little cutout in our array for that obstruction. Now we're going to go ahead and check on array 2, see if there's any obstructions here. I don't see any. Let's check array 3, and we've got one here in the corner. So we're going to go ahead and outline that, make sure that we're not hitting anything. I think in this case as well, we can probably shift this over a little bit and fit another row or column of modules in. Make sure to clear those out. And there we are. And last but not least, our array 4. This looks pretty well filled in. I don't see any obstructions. Maybe that. Give that some space. Maybe do one of those. And there you are. Now keep in mind, when you get up on the roof, you can always load this back up. You see, hey, they added a new air conditioning unit here or something of that nature. You can go ahead and select those modules on the fly and generate a new report in minutes. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and hit save now that we've got our arrays loaded up. We're going to save those arrays. Awesome. Now that our array has saved, you can see here a sneak peek of our array editor, which we're going to use when we go ahead and press this last button, calculate. Now this process takes a second. It's going to calculate all the ballast for each and every single one of those FR510s on that roof. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a bit here to once we got all the ballast calculated, and you'll see how that array looks. What I'm going to go ahead and do is scroll down here. You can see this beautiful array editor. So on this array editor, you can see all this stuff in green. That means that we've got a very comfortable amount of ballast. Yellow is still fine, all the way up to a little bit of red here in the corner. Now as we go down, you can see for each one of those arrays that we set, we have our own separate display. Each one of these is based on the wind calculations of that specific section. So some of these have more red, some of them have less. So we can go ahead in here and see. This one's actually doing really well. So let's go back to number 1 here. Now we've got a couple options for what to do about these red bubbles or red buckets. So what we can do here is set a mid bucket or set a mechanical anchor. So what I'm going to do first here is set a mechanical anchor right in between these 2 red ones just to display it. And now what we're going to do for mechanical anchors, we're going to have to go up here and hit calculate one more time. So what this is going to do is just show us exactly what the new load is going to be with an anchor included. In this section where we added the anchor, it's automatically recalculated the ballast, and we've gotten rid of those little red buckets there. Beautiful. So now we're going to check out some of the other examples. Let's go down here to number 4. Oh, number 4 is looking really good. Let's go over here to number 3. And here we go. We've got a little bit up here. What we can do here now is instead of going through and manually selecting these with mid buckets, what we're going to do is go ahead and click here, automatically alleviate with mid racks. That way, if you have a whole section that isn't that's overweighted, we can do this all in one sweep here. Go ahead and hit confirm. Now the system will automatically generate ballasted mid racks to take care of that extra load. There we go. And as you can see, if we zoom in a little bit, we've got calculated ballast weights for each mid-rack to make sure that these buckets surrounding the area are not overweighted. All right. Now we're going to go up here, hit save, and then we're going to go ahead and generate our report. This is an exciting part. Generating the report is free. This is something we can send to you. It's also something that it is dry stamped right out of the box. If you want to get it wet stamped in your area, that's something we can make happen as well. It'll take a little second here, and then it will generate a report that goes to us internally. We send it to you, and I'll show you an example of what that looks like as soon as it loads up. Okay, so we finally made it through to the end. Thanks for sticking with me here. This is going to be our report. This is what we generate for you automatically. It just goes to us internally, and then we'll send it out to you. We're going to go through this. You can see we've got our lovely layout here. We've got all of our comprehensive project characteristics here. Go through. This is all automatically generated. All the important data that you'll need for your project. Keep going. Wind characteristics here. I'll go slowly so you can see it. We've got all of our seismic characteristics. Keep going. We've got our seismic displacement, as well as some notes here. Just make sure you have all the information that you need. Snow load can be very important depending on your location, as well as our point loading characteristics. Here we go. Our maximum PSFs, etc. And here we go with the summary of our ballast calculations. So we've got the total number of modules, the number of bays, the number of anchors, number of ballast blocks, block types, and the block weight. This is a very important section here. I'm going to make sure that your weight is good. We can go through here, make sure it complies with your roof, etc. Got all the information you might need. If some of this information you see and it doesn't work for you, that's the point of the tool. You go right back in there, make some changes, remove some weight, whatever you need to do. Make sure that this works out for you. Send you a new report right away. Here is the overview of our demo project. You can see here the arrays that we worked on. And then we'll get right here, you can see where we added the mechanical anchor. We go down, we've got the section name, number of modules in this array, etc., etc. And we can keep going. It's got this for every single array that we worked on. Here you can see the mid buckets that we added up in this corner. Here we go. We've got our averages for everything. And that is the end of our report. So this will be sent to you free of charge before you start your project. Makes it super easy to go and check, make sure everything works out for you. If there's any issues, you can go right back into the design tool, or we can for you, and make sure that we get that fixed and get you a new report within the day. So have a good one. I hope this was helpful, and take care.